Hey,
Hey,
hey! Welcome to the Buzz Talk Show. I'm your girl, Carmella.
and I'm your girl, Carole.
What's up? What's up, you guys?
What's going on?
So guess what?
What?
You're tuning in to what?
OneVoiceRadio.com.
And for those that can see us, you're what?
On YouTube.
Yes! You got it, you guys. So if you ever missed our previous show, go back to our website. It is thebuzztalkshow.com. You know, we love keeping you inspired. And, you know, we have so many guests to talk about so many different topics and so forth. So go back and listen because we have some real treats.
Absolutely. But not only our website, you can go back to where?
You can go to Google, Amazon Music, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
All of that, where you get your major podcasts. You can get the Buzz Talk Show.
We're there.
Because we be what?
Buzzing. So we've introduced you to our YouTube channel, but also we're on Facebook. That's the Buzz. We have a Buzz group. We're on Instagram. TikTok. That is the Buzz Twins, you guys, you know.
And we told you why we're doing twins. We realized we do not look alike, but what?
How we dress alike.
You all know we like to just have fun with you.
We do. And we're heard in over 170 countries, you guys. So
say that again. Where?
170 countries, you guys.
Yes,
so,
yes. Yeah. And we appreciate all the emails that's coming in. Mm-hmm. Some of them just come in and say, hey. You know, you have nothing to say. You don't have any questions. You just want to shout us out and let us know that you're tuning in and you're listening every week. And we really, really appreciate that. We really do.
And if we overwhelmed you with all the information, you can email us. It's the Buzz Talk at what? The Buzz Talk 411@gmail.com. We'll be glad to give you all the information on how to reach us. Find us on Facebook, IG, TikTok, YouTube, whatever.
Everything.
YouTube, for those that's listening, it's the Buzz Talk Show with Carole and Carmella.
Absolutely. So yeah, go like and subscribe, you all. Please do us that a favor. Those of you that are tuning in, listening to us on the radio, go like and subscribe because it will let you know every time we put up a new video. Bing. Yes. So like and subscribe, please. Did I say please?
Oh, just a few times.
Just a few times. Like and subscribe. You all know we like to have fun. It wouldn't be us if we didn't. So for those who have missed our previous show, the last couple of shows, we had Coach Barlow on, and he shared some information with us, inspiring information. Last week we had Coach Burkett on. He shared some information with us. And the thing about it is we like to tell our listeners, it's not just about music on the radio. Mm-hmm. You know, we like to have fun. We like to play the music, but we like to inspire you. We like to encourage you. We like to just give you, nuggets about life. And, you know, even with the coaches, it's not just them talking to the kids about, you know, sports or whatever. It's a lot of things that they touched on that will help you with your day-to-day lives. So that's what it's all about. It's about helping people, even with the books that Coach Barlow was talking about, just things to say, I am, you know, somebody, I am bold, I am important, I can achieve different things and all of that. So yeah, it's all about what you can do in your life, not just the kids or whatever. So you don't just think about it as the coaches, you know, they were on and they shared some nuggets now for those who want to be athletes, but they also share some encouraging information with you. And you know what me and Carmella was talking about, we was like, our next guest, we would be remiss. You know, it would not be the buzz if we did not have this next guest on at some point, because we are fortunate enough to be in the presence of what we call a living legend. You all, we are fortunate enough not only to be in the presence, but let me just say, because you know, I don't give like we say subliminal plugs or whatever, to be related to. Related to. So greatness, we are related to that. So what we have this week, we have another guest on by the name of Mr. Henry Orum. For those of you who do not know him, you will get to know him. you will find out, just Google him, find out some information about all of the remarkable things that he has accomplished in his life and still accomplishing. So, you know, we just figured that we wanted to bring him on and share some of that information, because for so many years now, we know, even in February, a lot of people have had him and invited him to come to different events to speak, to hear what he had to share with so many people. And it has changed so many people's lives because of so many things that he has done. So he's absolutely part of history. He's going to share some of that with you, and some of it that he might not share, I'm going to share with you like I'm doing now, because I want you to know it, what's going on, but to help inspire some other people as to what you can achieve and what you can do. Because we realize it's not all about him. It's not. It's about the things that he has accomplished, the blessings that he has received, and what he's able to share with so many other people to change their lives and to inspire them. So let me stop talking. Let me present to some, introduce to others, none other than the living legend himself, Mr. Henry Orum.
Our family has everything going.
What's going on? How are you?
Hey, I'm blessed. I am blessed.
Absolutely. We as we said, it would not be the buzz without getting you in just to share some information with our listeners and our viewers about some of the things that you have been able to accomplish in your life. So just tell us, who is Henry Orum?
Henry Orum?
Yeah.
A native of Montgomery, Alabama.
A native of Montgomery, Alabama. That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of things I never said before, and this is one of them. I was born in Carter Hill Court, Montgomery, Alabama, between 5th Street, where our grandparents stayed, and your great-grandparents stayed, and Carter Hill Road. I was born in Carter Hill Court almost 70 years ago. But when I was in the 5th grade, I got very, very sick with asthma. I stopped breathing, and two doctors said that I wouldn't live long. And so my mom jumped up and took me to Madison Park, the outskirts of Montgomery, Alabama, out in the country, where there was a little small house that consists of 1 bedroom, and I shared with my 5 brothers and sisters. And we didn't have any running water. We had an outhouse. And but my mom gave us so much love, I didn't realize we were poor until I got old.
Okay.
But that was being poor was least of my problems. I had a problem so bad you stopped breathing. I remember one time I was laying on my mom. You know how you get sick and you get weak and you just depend on mom. And I laid on my mom, and I was able to breathe again. I felt something warm tap my face. And I looked up, and it's my mom. She was crying and she was praying that I get well. So I went into that one little bedroom, and I dropped to my knees and I said, Father, come into my life. I don't want to die. I want to be successful in life. If you take away this sickness, I will serve you for the rest of my life. Oh Lord, you better be careful what you ask for. Amen.
Amen.
He sent a man into my life named he was the late James A. Shannon at our Washington High School. He asked me to try out for the track team. And the first thing I said is, Coach, I can't run long. I get sick and I may fall out. He said, I didn't ask you to run. I want you to walk. I want you to jog. And I tell you when I want you to run. But it didn't, everybody on the track team outran me. So Peter Jackson and Commodore, all these guys from Montgomery played football for the Washington, all the guys outran me because I was still weak. But it didn't take long for me to become a world-class athlete. And at Booker T. Washington, I outran everyone except the late Thomas Watley from Flatwood. He was my roommate at Booker T. Washington, Robert E. Lee, and the University of Alabama. We were roommates in Tuscaloosa. And we just worked hard, and I had a goal in mind. And I received approximately 150 scholarships by the time I reached the high school, because they said integration time, we had to leave Booker T. Washington with Robert E. Lee. And I scored 221 points in 10 track meets at Lee High School, became an outstanding athlete, outran the #1 and #2 high hurler in the world, Larry Shipper, Baltimore, Maryland, Charles Foster, North Carolina Central. And that put me up there, and people started to open their eyes. Who's the little skinny kid, 5'7", 130 pounds, running this fast? And so the next thing you knew is it was time for me to go to college. And they said, what college are you going to? I'm going to the University of Alabama. All of my friends got upset with me. You're going to University of Alabama. I thought, Joy, why did they say he didn't want you there? Why you want to go there? I have my reason. I got a job to do. I got to go to the University of Alabama. And I arrived on the campus of the University of Alabama. The first person I met was Wilbur Jackson, first scholarship football player. John Mitchell, he was a walk-on. And one of the Hustles was a basketball player. They just retired his number a couple of months ago. And I met them. I stepped on the track and I became the SEC most valuable player in 1972, 73, 74. I became the first Black captain of the University of Alabama. I set the SEC record 30.5 points in one track meet on the Auburn campus. The record was set in the 1800s. Amen. The record was set in the 1800s. And 50 some years later, you know, I still hold 2 of those records at the University of Alabama. That's 3-time MVP. Amen. And it's really been very, very nice at the University of Alabama. But as I continue, I ran and then as I go back and I think about the first SEC track meet my freshman year, I won the long jump, 25 feet 6 inches, my first year on campus. And they looked at me and they went like, who is this kid? I won first place. Now I broke the record that was set in 44 years ago. And then I won the 60-yard high hurdles. Bill High of Tennessee had won it 3 years in a row. And I beat him my freshman year because they say pressure busts a pipe. He failed and I won first place. And then I placed second in the triple jump my freshman year. And then I was in the high jump. A lot of people don't know that. This is new in your program. A lot of people didn't know that I high jump also. My best high jump was 6'7". And the coach put me in the high jump my freshman year at the University of Alabama. And after I won those 3 events and played high in those 3 events, the coach sent a message down there, get him out of the high jump before we kill him. So they took me out of the high jump. And the high jump was worn with 6'8", and they pulled me out at 6'6". And I felt like I probably could have had a good chance of winning at 6'8" because I was feeling good that night. My mom was there. That was the first time my mom ever got a chance to watch me run. Because she also reminded me that she was still mom and that I was not grown. I ran down the track and I jumped up in the air and I fouled on my first jump. They said 26 feet. And I said a bad word. My mom called me up in the bleachers and pointed that finger at me. She said, don't you never curse again. I said, but Mom, she said, don't ever curse again. I haven't cursed since that day. I'm almost 70 years old. so University of Alabama been good to me. And I went on to running track and I went to Dallas, Texas. And I was long jumping in Dallas, Texas, and I jumped 27 plus feet, inches. And the world record was 29.2 or 29.3. And I said, man, I can break the world's record. I'm gonna finally be somebody in life. I ran down the long jump runway and I jumped up in the air after winning the hurdles. I jumped in the air and I landed. My knee, they say it sounded like a 22 rifle in Texas Stadium. And I said, why? So I asked my mama, why? When I returned back home, and she said, one day you're gonna go out and you're gonna tell the whole world why you blowed your knee out. It didn't take me very long to find out why. Because see, I found out very quick that my God is a jealous God. I made a promise to him that I would serve you for the rest of my life. He didn't want me to go out there and make thousands of dollars with the Cleveland Indians playing baseball, stealing bases. He didn't want me to be running pro track like Carl Lewis making $12 million a year. He wanted me to be sitting right here, right now, talking to Carole and Keisha. Amen. telling you my story, how he have churched me. He's been taking care of me. A lot of people ask me, have you ever prayed for a victory? I never prayed for victory. My thing for my father is that all I want you to do is hold my hand. Hold my hand. Through my whole life, the only thing I ever said was, Father, hold my hand. And I go back, sometimes I think about the old saying is, for Father, I look back and I saw only one set of footprints. The reason you saw one set of footprints is because I was carrying you, my son. Amen. So let you know that he'll never turn you loose.
Right.
But
the thing about that is just listening to you as far as how you started, you know, being sick and everything, but then was able to just go out and do what you do and break records and just, you know, as we tell people each week, push, pray until something happens and just keep going because you never know what may happen, where it might take you. But then, like you said, for whatever reason, you got to a certain point and blowed your knee out.
Right. And I was the first, also I was the first black on the track brochure at the University of Alabama. Okay. On the front cover of the Alabama brochure, track brochure. But after I blew my knee out, I had to fall back and start teaching. And that's when it really got interesting.
Okay.
And I started working with Montgomery ARC kids, students with special needs. When I got there, being a top athlete, I thought I had to learn how to coach football, basketball, volleyball, bowling. And I gave these students a basketball and they started tackling each other. So we returned back to the classroom and we worked on this for about 6 months, all sports for about 6 months. We ended up winning 5 state basketball championships, 3 softball championships, 3 volleyball championships, 1 bowling championship, recreation program of the year. And Governor Bob Riley gave me my own day. Henry James Orum Day is May the 9th.
Okay.
And Guy Hunt made me Governor's Committee Teacher of the Year. And Fob Jane named me Governor's Committee Teacher of the Year. Montgomery ARC named me Teacher of the Year. The University of Alabama sent me a letter saying that I was one of the most decorated public servants in the state of Alabama. I raised, when I started working at McKinney School, I raised $6 million for United Way. I made 8 speeches in one day. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do 8 speeches in one day. With Coca-Cola, UPS, Thermolet, Thermo King, all those places. I did 8 speeches in one day. But they said I raised $8 million one day.
So again, you did all that track and field, blew your knee out, and then went to coaching and just much other stuff going on with that as well. But I want to ask you a question because I know you did this as well. Tell us about the torch.
In 1996, I was blessed enough to carry you can ask a point, keep up with your homework. In 1996, I was blessed enough out of 400 people to be nominated. They say in the top 2 out of 400 people to carry the Olympic torch through Montgomery from the Capitol step down. And the same year, Muhammad Ali lit the cauldron in Atlanta. But I still have the torch and I take it different places when I go speak. It's made out of Georgia pecan wood. Okay. So that'll always be close to me that the wood come from Georgia.
Okay, so we know the torch came through Montgomery, Alabama, and you was carrying it.
Yes, from the Capitol step to State House Inn. State House Inn, yes.
Wow, that's a blessing right there because a lot of people can't say regardless because you know the Olympics is only so many years or what have you, but out of 400, you were in the top 2 to be able to say you carried that. So that's a blessing right there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It just get better and better as I calm down.
Okay, I get it. So you said you ran track, you bombed out your knee, then you went to coaching. I think that might have been your calling to help. You said the special needs kids with different sports, all sports.
Mhm.
Now, how did you get to that point? Like, you know, the greatness, because you know a lot of people now are running track, doing so much things now. What were some steps that you took to get there?
Let me just give you a couple of examples of a couple of the students that I work with. One of the students, the CP so bad that he couldn't feed himself. And he asked me, Coach, can you help me feed myself? I put him on the weights for about 2 or 3 months, up and down, using both hands up and down. I put a spoon and a fork on the back of his hand. I put Velcro around it. His hand was so strong, he would dip down. He was feeding himself. God is good. God is good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And another student wanted to bowl. His hands was tied to a chair because the motion was going. He couldn't hold a bowling ball. I think of Alan all the time. He couldn't hold a bowling ball. So I used the ramp. I took his chair and mashed the button back, pulled the button back, reclined the wheelchair, and I taught him how to kick the ball off the ramp. He bowled a 70, one of his games. He bowled a 70. If you know anything about bowling, he bowled a 70 with no bumpers on the side. Put the one hole in the front, 2 holes in the back, and he kicked it off the ramp. He bowled a 70.
So special needs doesn't mean you're not able. You just
Right.
know how to train them.
right. And have some
Right.
patience with them.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we'll teach them other alternatives and other ways to do it. Absolutely great.
Right. A lot of times I had to repeat the same thing 500-600 times a month, but I didn't get tired because I was able to find a little progress, a 1/10 of an inch, a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch. I was able to find that much progress every time we did it. And today I never found I'm retired now, but 40 years, 8 months. I never found a student there. I call them my children. I'm saying child a lot because I feel like they're mine. I worked for 40 years. I put Pampers on them. But I call them mine. But I never found one that I couldn't find something that he could be good at. Because you see, my Father in heaven gave me something special inside. And I know this because he keep touching me and touching me. And I think about how sick I was. I think about when I was on Vaughn Road in Montgomery, Alabama. After I graduated, I needed a job to work to take care of my child, Eva. And I was down in the ditch, and I was scared in the ditch. Contracts, you know, that means scared in the ditch. The guy behind me was dipping it up, dipping the dirt, shovel up. Down in that hole, something touched me. I do not know today how I got out of that hole and I was sitting on the bench. But the wall caved in on the guy right behind me and killed him on Vaughn Road. And I always say, I could have been asleep in my grave, but the Lord spoke one word. He made old death behave. He been taking care of me for a reason. And today I feel like you guys are still taking care of me because the prophet is coming true. My mom told me, she said, one day you're going to tell the whole world, 170 states, you're going to tell I'm sorry, countries, 170 countries. You're going to tell the whole world. Why? You throw your knee out. It was not meant for me to make millions of dollars. It was meant because I wanted to build gyms. I wanted to teach touring program for kids in the neighborhood. I wanted to come back and be in my mama's house because the Cleveland Indians had already told me that I would be making good money, still the basis for them. And I knew I would have been able to help the community and help the students. And today, they said that I helped to get Blacks into the University of Alabama. And it makes me feel good to see Sean Dion Hamilton, Mac Wilson, Henry Rudd III. Those guys go out there and make this big money and they come right back here and they put to Lee High School in the road. I know about you. Put money in Lee High School, buying uniforms and helping these kids. And for Shaw Deal, Hamilton, Mac Wilson to buy turkeys and buy dinner and buy clothes for people in Montgomery, Alabama. I hope they see this. Let them know that old man watching, because that's what it's all about. The late Mike Washington, all of us said the first thing that we was gonna do, we make it big. We're gonna buy mom a house just in case our wife put us out. We can go back. We always go back home. With mom have a brand new house.
Absolutely.
But my life just been getting better and better. There's so many records that I have set. I like to say to Dr. Richard Bailey, in 2019, he named me the Emancipation Humanitarian. Dr. Richard Bailey, humanitarian, named me Humanitarian of the Year. And I looked at that list and I saw Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Dr. Frederick from Selma. And I said, God put me in a position to be listed on the same list as these type of people. Boy, he's looking out for me. He's looking out for me.
So maybe it was, like we said, it wasn't meant for you to go be able to do all of that stuff that you were talking about. It was meant for you to do it the way you did it and still be able to touch so many people's lives and inspire them and help them just in a different manner.
Yes.
And you've been able to do all these years, even with the kids and stuff that you're talking about, calling them your kids, because a lot of people wouldn't have the patience to help them and to, like you say, go over it and over it as many times if you had to help teach them and inspire them. I'm sure the parents were grateful and appreciative and everything. And that's what it's all about. It's about your heart, you know, how you can inspire people and help people and encourage them. And like we said, things happen for a reason. You might not have known what the reason was for, but you know, you've been able to achieve success in so many other different ways throughout the years.
Okay. Also like to take time and thank 10th degree Grandmaster Larry Webb Sr. He trained my son Henry Jr. He was my master. And we worked with approximately 200 students during the summer. And I would always make sure that they knew how to make their bed up. This is martial art now. Make their bed up, help the dad wash the car, and help the mom wash dishes. We made sure we had all that stuff there before we even started teaching them martial art. And my son, Henry Jr., that was the best discipline program for him. You probably don't know, but he's a junior black belt. He was teaching black belt means. It disciplined him so much. And when you hear him say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, he's disciplined.
Absolutely. So let's go back. I know you said we're actually in the month of May. So you said May 9th is your day. So that'll be Monday.
Yes.
And also, I was fortunate to be a part of a event you did for cheerleaders, football, and so forth. You gave away trophies and so forth. So give us a little highlight of what all you did for the community.
We used to do a sports clinic at my house, and our Wally Peck, pro football player, San Antonio Spurs, came out. He took care of basketball, and there was another young lady, Camilla. I called her Keisha. She took care of all of my cheerleaders, and she was flipping my daughter that's about to become a doctor next year. You were flipping her around in the air, and she see those pictures now. And she said, how did she do that? I was a big girl. But I want to thank you for helping me do my sports clinic. And when I got a little bit older, I turned over to my son, Henry Orum Jr. And he started a sports clinic also. And he was helping a lot of students. We invited a quarterback from Alabama State, Richardson. He came out and he worked with the many students next door, throwing the football, catching football, passing, giving them some pointers. But I've been so blessed to work with so many people. and to get to know so many people. And one of them that I worked with, it took a long time for my wife to believe me that I knew him, and that was Joe Willie Namath. When I got hurt and I couldn't run anymore, I went to the dressing room and I started working out. And guess who was sitting there? Joe Namath. And so we talked, and I introduced myself and everything, and I showed him the picture that I was the first Black on the track brochure. He said, let's go outside and let's play some catch a little bit. Throw the ball around a little bit. I said, okay. See, I couldn't even make the high school football team at Booker T. Washington. I couldn't catch. Went outside and we was throwing the ball and catching. And I did not want to let Joe Namath know this, but he's going to see this, I think. He was taking the skin off my hand. He was throwing the ball so hard after he had retired and was laid back. He told me he was old down from Pennsylvania. He was taking the skin off my hand. I said, Joe, can we try something different? I didn't want Joe Namath to know that my hands were track hands, not football hands.
Right.
But he said, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll take a shower. And oh, by the way, do you know anybody that cut hair? I got stage fright. I went like, this is Joe Namath. I'm not gonna cut his hair. But Joe, I am a licensed barber now. I just didn't want to tell Joe Namath that. So I went back home and I told my wife, I said, you guess what? I worked out with Joe Namath today. She said, yeah, right. I said, Joe Namath, I worked out with him, right. So we just happened to go to the airport about 3 weeks later. And I heard somebody holler, hey, Henry. Hey, Henry. Guess who it was? My wife said, you do know Joe Namath. He's calling your name. But I was a head USA coach, basketball coach in 1987. We placed third in the world. I got a chance to see Spud Webb. I coached from the same chair as Digger Phil, the same chair I coached from. Spud Webb, I think it was 5'6" or 5'7". To watch him walk in air all the way up and slam dunk a basketball at 5'6". I said, it's true. I watched it in person. I got a chance to Patrick Ewing. I got a chance to talk to Patrick Ewing. I got a chance to sit down and eat with the Kennedy family on the field. I didn't get too close to Whitney Houston at that time. She was up on the stage. I couldn't get too close to her. But Oprah Winfrey, I passed right by her and I waved at her.
Okay.
And she was like, hi, all of you guys. I was going like, look at me, I'm here. This little kid from Madison Park is here. And she just waved like, hey, all of you guys. So I got a chance to get close to Oprah Winfrey also.
Okay.
And that water in Madison Park, it must be something special in that water. Because did you know that Eric Motley, Washington, D.C., congressman, came from Madison Park? Wow. He wrote a book. He graduated. He's in the Lee High School Hall of Fame. I'm also in the Lee High School Hall of Fame. I was the first Black in the Lee High School Hall of Fame. I was the first Black and only Special Olympic coach in the Montgomery Hall of Fame. I am in the Black Belt Hall of Fame. I am in the Atlanta Sports Straw Hall of Fame. I'm in 4 Hall of Fame. That's why you see my car tag riding around town. It's 4-time Hall of Fame and 3-time MVP. And the coach called me back and told me, he said, the year after you left, I want you to know that you don't hold the SEC record. You hold the University of Alabama record now. Harvey Glantz, gold medal winner, broke your record by 2 points. I know. And the reason I know is because he asked me, how did you get to be so good? I say, what you do is you find a person that's at the top. You put their picture on your locker and you break all of their records. I took Richmond Flava Jr. His dad was the Attorney General. He played for the Dallas Cowboys also. I put Richmond Flava record on my locker, and I tried to break every record that he did. And someone from Auburn called me that was a good friend of mine. I'm not gonna say it was Mel Rosen. It was a it was a good friend. It was a good friend of mine. He was a coach. Told me that Harvard Glance had put my picture up on his locker. And that was his goal, was to break my record. So that means he had to win the 100-yard dash, the 220, 440 relay, and the long jump. He had to win all four. Because I won three, got second in one. Doug Brown of Tennessee was a gold medal winner in the Olympics. He won 3 first places at Auburn, on the Auburn campus that day, and he did not win MVP. I won MVP by 1/2 of a point because I ran third leg on the 440 relay team.
See, that's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about as far as goals. Just like you said, you know, you put that picture up and you strive to beat what they, you know, what the record that they had. Right. So that's what we're saying when we're talking to our listeners and viewers about life in general, you know, not just with the sports, but if you setting a goal, you know, put it up, put it before you, you know, write it out, make it plain, the vision, what you're trying to do. So those were goals and that you were, you know, trying to do, and you obviously had to work hard to achieve them. We can just look behind you and see the display of all your accolades, certificates, trophies, and just everything, you know, the records and everything that you broke and everything. So that's a blessing. You have accomplished a whole lot. And that's what we wanted to share with our listeners today. I know we couldn't give them everything that you did. We gave them a lot. Yeah. We gave them a lot. There's a lot that you did.
Right. A lot of people ask me, they say that, well, you being one of the first Blacks to go to the University of Alabama, did you see any racism? Did you fear any racism? I'm going to have to admit, on the outskirts of Centerville, Alabama, I was married at that time. We stopped to use a restroom on the outskirts of Centerville, Alabama. And the man said, we don't have any restroom for you that you guys can use. My roommate, Thomas Watley, was hurt. And we had to go to Florida. And we stopped on the outskirts of Dothan, Alabama to eat. And the man that owned the place said, that guy right there, he's the only one who can't eat in here. He's gonna have to go to the outside, to the side window. This is 1972. He would have to go to the outside and eat at the side window. I saw a lot of racism, but I didn't dwell on racism. I used it as a stepping stone, because when I was able to suck it in and give out love, 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 I was able to conquer that. At Lee High School, a lot of people say they saw a lot of racism, but a young man named Jimmy Nelson, he protected me at Lee High School. Another man, his name is Mike Sullivan from Greenville, Alabama right now. He called me Drum, but I thought it because he said everybody had to dance to my beat, but it was not that. It was the coach. Didn't know how to spell my name in the wild world of sports. So it went on the wild world of sports. They said, ladies and gentlemen, representing the University of Alabama, Henry Drum. So the whole team named me Drum after that. And Coach Barry Bryant, nice guy. I walked up to him one day and I said, hey, Coach, how you doing? He's, hey, Jack Orum, how you doing? Jack Orum. And so I didn't say anything. That's Barry Bryant. I didn't say anything. And so a couple of days later, I said, Coach, why you call me Jack Orum? He said, you walk like Wilbur Jackson, the first Black athlete. So Barry Bryant had a thing about the way people walk, how good they walk, how good they were. And so I went like, okay. And I was going like, why is he watching me? He told them to put me on the training table. Like, you know, my mom didn't feed me well. He said, put that little skinny kid right there, the one that weighed 145 pounds 6 feet that's coming off the hurdles too slow. He get between the hurdles, he pass everybody and go, he can't come down off the hurdle. Put him on the training table. So I had to eat with the football players for 6 months. It was nice now. I had potatoes, a steak, a big pie bag, whole pie by yourself. And I had to eat that. I went to 170 pounds and I broke 4 or 5 at the University of Alabama records. When he put 100, Bear Bryant put 170 pounds on. And then he said, hey, wait a minute, what about letting this guy block some punts on the end? Block punts on the end. So the coach came to me, he said, Coach Bryant wants you to block punts on the end. And my roommate was Big John Hanna from Abbeville, Alabama. My waistline at that time was size 28. Big John Hanna, one thigh was 34 inches. 1 and 1, 1 and 1 and 2. It did add up. I'm not going on the football field, no big old guys out there, and let them hit me and break me in half. So I didn't turn Bear Bryant down, but I turned his sister coach down. I'm not going out there and block points. So they found another track guy. His name was Ernest Orum from Birmingham, Alabama. He's in Opelika right now. I talked to him last week. And they had him out there trying to block points and stuff like that. But they were not going to get me out there, no waistline, 28. When I went to size 30 waistline, I thought I was a bad boy. And I'll say the word size 30, 34 pairs. I thought I was a bad boy.
They tried to fatten you up a little bit to get you to do what they wanted you to do. I tell you, see, this is what we're saying as far as the radio. We wanted to have you on today to share some information with our listeners. Tell them your avenue, your adventure, the way you got, started, where you started from, how you got to some of the places you got to, just to help encourage them. Because like we said, it wasn't just so much about the sports part or what have you. It's just life in general, like I said, to inspire people and to just enjoy what they're doing, to stay focused on what they're doing and all this kind of stuff. So we appreciate you being on with us today. We appreciate you sharing the information with us that you share with us, with our listeners, with our viewers. It's very motivating, it's encouraging. All of the things that we want to be able to share with our listeners every week. Every week, as I normally do, I give what I call a quote. So I got a quote that I'm going to do for today. And the quote is, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So that's what, like I say, every week we try to give a quote to inspire people, but you want to have dreams. You want your actions to inspire you to become a leader. So that's what we want to share with our listeners and viewers for today. There was something else you wanted to say before we get out of here today?
Yes, I just want to say about 4 things. When I looked at my accolade list, there are just so many things on here. I'm a Leadership Montgomery graduate, class 11. Carol, you'll be going through that soon, I heard. West Ferry Road VIP. Joseph Philp, friend of youth. WSFA, giving your best. WAKA award. The Frank Siegel Award. Junior Leagues of Montgomery Humanitarian Award. I look at this and I see why the University of Alabama said that I am one of the most decorated public servants in the state of Alabama. Because when you look back at this list, I asked myself, Lord, are you trying to spoil me? Are you trying to spoil me? He's giving me everything that I want. And I have bad times and I have good times, but my good time outweigh my bad times every time.
Absolutely. That's all you can ask for.
Everything you name, it speaks to exactly what she said, leadership, everything that you've done in your past, you're living legend. So this speaks volume to our upcoming kids of football players, basketball, baseball, track and field,
entrepreneurs, business owners, period. So it's not, like we said, all about, just what you accomplished, but how other people can look at what you accomplished and realize they can aspire to do the exact same thing, no matter what. You know, you might have been sick or what have you, but you just keep pushing, keep praying, keep making things happen, keep, you know, setting goals, keep, you know, crashing those goals one after another one, and just can see all of the great things that can happen in your life. And it might not go in the direction that you hoped and dreamed, but you never know which direction that it will go in to take you to inspire so many other people in life.
Right.
So we really appreciate you being on, like we said, with us today, sharing this information.
Right.
My sister, Velma, instilled in me. She said that you're going to get knocked down, but make sure you fall on your back. For as long as you can look up,
Get up.
Amen.
All day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
All day long, yes. We want to leave that with our listeners. We're going to give them, again, our little infomercial as to how they can reach us and find us and hear this interview. For those who may just not be tuning in first half and just want to get it, you know, all over again, the information. So Carmella is going to give us that information as to how they can find us.
All right. For the viewers, you see he has his own like book of all his, you know, accomplishments, what he's done, the living legend.
Absolutely.
You got
Now,
it, you
the
got it.
listeners can't see it, so you just listening to us.
Right.
But for the viewers, it's there. But like we said, we appreciate all that you have done and continue to do.
Continue doing. Yes. It would be remiss if we didn't bring up the mindset of a champion.
Absolutely.
Mr. Sam Orum book, he wrote himself. Anything that you're willing to do, from sports, entrepreneurship, whatever, the book
speaks for itself. So we tell you every week that we're going to promote it, that we're going to talk about it. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it. You can go directly to his site, samorum.com, the Deep Dive Podcast.live, all of that good stuff. You can get that information. But again, we want to tell you how you can reach out to us.
Yeah. Of course, you're viewing us now. We're on YouTube.
Yes. Like and subscribe.
Yes,
tell a friend and tell a friend.
Yes, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you're just listening, go ahead, run the YouTube. It's the Buzz Talk Show with Carole and Carmella. Yes. Also, find us on all platforms, IG, which is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Everything is the Buzz. The only thing we had to tweak a little was TikTok. It's the Buzz Twins. But we can be found also or heard on our actual website, which is thebuzztalkshow.com. Go back and listen to all our previous shows, inspire your
Spotify,
kids, yourself,
Amazon,
whatever.
Google, all of those different places in over 170 countries.
Yep.
And we appreciate you all tuning into us every week, emailing us every week. And now, like we said, just go to YouTube and catch us and like and subscribe so you'll know when we put up another video.
Yeah. You want to be sure to like and subscribe because you never know what giveaways or just, great nuggets and stuff that we're dropping. So be sure to like and subscribe to all platforms.
All platforms. And we want to thank again the living legend, Mr. Henry Orum, for joining us this week and sharing with us all of his good information, all of his accomplishments. And that's just to inspire some other people to know that you can, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Absolutely. So Mr. Orum, Coach Orum, we want to thank you again for being with us this week.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate it. We really, really do. So listeners, as you know, we often say, until next time, we out.